SBC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the iGaming Daily Podcast, the marketing part. Here we discuss SEO, marketing, content and everything else related to make your websites and your performance better. I am Ivana Flynn and I have two fantastic guests today with me, Jan and Dean. Jan and Dean, please introduce yourself. We start with Dean just by alphabetical order. So please, Dean.
Fair enough. Yes. So my name's Dean Akinjobi. I'm CEO of Football Media. We're a digital advertising and sponsorship agency that work across multiple different categories, and iGaming is a huge area for us. We work with brands, enabling them to connect with football clubs and through digital advertising, sponsorships, and SEO based content marketing.
Thank you. And Jan is representing Live Casino and Casino today.
Fantastic. Hello, everyone. So, yes, my name is Jan. I am head of Live Casino, and I would say Live Casino expert within the iGaming industry, being in the industry for over 13 years now. So I think there is a lot for me to talk about and to bring to the table. And thank you so much for the invitation, Ivana.
You're welcome. Today we are going to be discussing content, how to make content in our very weird and very narrow niche interesting. You know that I have a fight with my colleagues all the time about, can we have an original content in casino, live casino? How can we make sports interesting again? And I think my two experts will help me with my point that content is still good, content is still important, and we can still make it fun. So I'll ask you, what makes good content for you? Doesn't have to be just iGaming, but what is a catching, good content that grabs your attention and makes you read more or watch more? Click on the link. What is it for you that makes a good content, and what learnings we can take from that into iGaming?
Let me start, if you don't mind. So definitely, Ivana, yes, thank you. I love the SEO. I love how SEO basically can help us, especially, the live casino environment. Since the live casino environment, it's very sensitive to work with, right? So it's not just you working with the robots, you're working with the RNG, nothing against the casino, but you're basically working with the real people. You're working with the real studios, real people 24 hours 7 sitting behind the camera. And this is for me how I would see SEO creating content that basically I never saw, for example, to boost the live casino itself. Why not to do some interviews with the dealers, how they feel in the environment itself, and basically the interviews with the dealers on daily basis. This is for me to lift up the environment and to basically explain to the audience we do that this is the real life environment, streaming 24/7 from the studios across the world, I would say. So the content for me should be very catchy, should be really human being related, I would say. And obviously the expertise from the casino and live casino will help, together with collaboration with the SEO team and SEO management, to help to build, for example, the new content is coming to the market. I'm having the content exclusively done 2 weeks prior to the network release. Why not to build the content around this game, right? Point the USP, but I would still be on the side of it's live casino, it's a live environment. That would be for me the interesting content, to have a live dealers to talk about the environment, how they feel in the environment, how they would lift up the live casino traffic itself. And this is for me so interesting, and I would love to start the content using this kind of content with SEO.
I actually like it. It's a great idea to have interviews with dealers. I never thought of that. And it's something that does not exist. But would the dealers from other companies that don't work for my company speak to me about it? Would they be even allowed?
To be honest, they will be allowed. Obviously, there is a certain GDPR which we have to follow, right? But in collaboration, and that's the part of not just the casino team, but the collaboration with the actual providers for who the dealers are speaking, and this can bring completely something new to the market. So they will be able to talk to you, but obviously still we will need to get the approval from the actual providers, I believe. The interview that doesn't really need to be, it must be video interview, must be face to face. Obviously it can be interview, you will sit down, write some nice content. I'm Jeff from this and this casino. I'm Bob from this and this from provider. And this is how I see the live casino environment. So yes, you will be definitely able to talk to them.
Fantastic. And maybe we can even do like with game creators, because games are huge. I mean, people come to our casinos to play games, and there is certain thinking behind it, how we create game, how we don't create games, and what is catchy. So I'm definitely going to try to utilize this. I wish you told me this in private, so I was original. But okay, now everybody listening to this can steal this amazing idea. But I love it. So this is how to go about casino, maybe a little bit. I like it in a written form for Google, but for users, I would definitely go with interview in either audio or even video. If they would not be shy, they shouldn't be. They are live dealers. Dean, and how do we translate it into football or any other sport? I'm going to be talking more football because we are a football fan. We all know that. But any other sport that can make us money. I mean, tennis is very VIP sport. Hockey is out there. Golf, we can bet on all of it, but let's go with football right now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously football's what we do, but if it can be applied to any sport. So I think when you're looking at live content, I think it's really around content. For me, needs to be engaging and enticing and original. Those are the three kind of key pillars. And I think what sport, in particular football, any other sport, it does give you is that there's this 24/7 cycle of content. So how you create this content, if you've got the ability of having, like, let's say, a sponsorship or a brand ambassador, that's your point of call. Creating original content, like interview content with them, exclusive content that can be hosted on site and also shared on across social as well. Backlinking from a potential football club and the brand ambassador. But then also on the wider aspect as well is it's also taking it a step further and saying, okay, because football and all sports, it's 24/7. There's always something going on. There's always something going on. You see, he's gone on Twitter, he's gone on Instagram, any particular social channel, and you see what's actually trending there. So that can actually help you create part of your content strategy to be actually original and authentic as well. So you're seeing what fans are talking about. You're seeing the reaction to particular games and pre-match content, and you're actually getting what's actually trending on social channels, and then having that as part of your content strategy. And going on to the point about creating interviews, if you haven't got that ability to, let's say, a sponsorship club where you can create that content, have that linking content from fans and players, you can actually go and do vox pops with fans and say, okay, well, hey, obviously fans over 18 saying, hey, we want to do an interview with you. We go down to any local team and actually figure out, can we get your opinion on this particular game? Whether that's video, can we regurgitate it for our website from an editorial point of view as well. So it's really like figuring out how you can actually get, because fans about any sport love to talk about their opinion on who's the best player, who's the best football player, tennis player. But imagine being able to actually get loyal fans like talking about this content and actually interviewing them and creating that content on an original basis. And that will be something that you can uniquely own and uniquely reward those fans on a regular basis as well. So I think it's ways of just looking at creating unique content, whether going down the sponsorship route, whether, with a club where you've got endless amounts of interview content, or a brand ambassador, which you can actually use that content to be syndicated across your site and multiple other sites. You can actually put it across an exclusive interview with, let's say Cristiano Ronaldo. Then all of a sudden, the press want that interview, and it's syndicated across multiple different publications with backlinks to your particular iGaming platform. And then the further step is saying, okay, well, if you haven't got that budget, then say, how do you engage your fans? How do you reward fans? Let's think about their opinion. There's always talk about it. So let's look at these leading influencers and fans and say, get them to create content and collaborate with your particular brand in a unique, engaging way. Really. So that's kind of the very top end area that I would recommend really when creating content, ensuring it's original and utilizing the channels that you have. And if you haven't got those channels, then it's like being creative and saying there's always someone out there talking about sports and figuring out how do you connect with the right influential people and the trends that are currently happening in real time, and then repurposing that for SEO purposes.
And not just SEO, any marketing. I mean, yes, I'm coming from SEO, but this part is all together for marketing. I love it. Those are approaches I never thought of. And I would say most of SEOs don't, because we just keep reusing the same content, how to play roulette and what are the odds on football and this and that. So I think if you want to create an original content and have an original outlook on sports or casino, you need to speak to your experts, right? So ask your experts, ask Dean, ask Jan, or anyone you have access to about how to be original. But where would we put this content? I mean, it's not exactly, if we are talking operator, it's not exactly main pages material. If you are affiliate, you are a little bit more flexible with structure. So I would say this would go for sports, maybe to news, so we can try to score on Google News as well. But altogether is maybe more blog material. Is blog something you would invest in 2024?
I think that it's twofold, really. You just, rather than calling it blog, saying content. So he's like, it's content you would invest in 2024. Yes. So whether that's video, whether that's editorial, whether that's images, whatever it is, wherever you decide to put it, it's just a way of communication. That's what it is. I wouldn't say like a typical blog per se. It depends on the purpose of that blog per se. It's just like, if it's used for SEO, then obviously it needs to be written in a particular way and hosted on particular pages, linked to particular ways. But then if it's just like you're looking at marketing as a whole, you're just going to look at your content strategy. How do you communicate with your audience? And it needs to be across multiple different channels. So I didn't look at it as like even blogs, like the word blog. It's more a case of like communication, how you communicate. And it could be repurposed across multiple different channels, whether that's through editorial, whether that's through video, whether that's through images. That can be told through so many different ways. Just restructuring how you communicate with audiences, and then ensuring that your brand is engaging with people on different touch points, essentially.
Yeah, I think this is a time to rethink blogs, because typically when we say blog, we think SEO, just bring traffic in keywords you don't usually target. But I think in 2024, blogs like that don't work anymore, because everything is written out there. All of these boring strategies and how to and big winners and everything is done. So I think if we're going to be talking blog 2024, even 2025, as you correctly said, Dean, it needs to be more engaging. So in my opinion, good blog would be, yes, let's have it for SEO purposes as well. But as Jan said, we can have an enticing content with interviews or the new releases, which is obviously something we should be tapping into. Or as you said, interviews with players. But what about memes? Would memes work in our niche, or would it be too offensive to our players? Do they have sense of humor?
I think they have a sense of humor when they're winning. But it really depends on the brand. I mean, we're mentioning brand names, but you have to have the authority to be able to use these memes. So if you're let's just say, for example, if you're like Paddy Power, you have the authority because you've learned that brand authority to actually use memes in a certain way. Whereas as if you are, I don't know, a William Hill, for example, you would not use the same memes in the same way a Paddy Power would. So it's really about the tonality and what your brand stands for. So I think that there's a place for memes, but I'd also do it in a way that aligns with your actual brand ethos. Because if you try to go too far out to that, it doesn't really work that well. So I think there's a place for it, but it's ensuring that it's done in a way that aligns with the brand.
Yeah, William Hill, Mr. Green, the gentleman would not do a meme. That's true. Can we do it for live casino? Is live casino something we can memify? I have a new word, memify. Can we memify live casino?
Good word, actually. Yeah, I like that.
That's right. My English is improving.
I'll be honest. I definitely think that Dean got the spot there. So basically, why not use the memes exactly? But then you don't want really, the customers, or let's call them players, obviously, but in the end they are players. You don't want to offend them. So it depends. If the player really losing a lot and he's not in a good mood, I don't think he wants to see any funny memes. I'll be honest with you. But definitely, I love the approach of having memes live casino related. Why not to have a memes with the links, so that memes will not have just the functionality of being memes, being funny, being thoughtful, but why not to add straight away via STA links to the memes when you will direct the players to the site, wherever you go, to the promo space, to the new releases place. So I love it. I love the blog. And in overall, I love the blog because that's the space for the network basically to get in touch with you, to basically add the comments in, to start some discussions. I love the blogs when basically the discussion is fully open and you can just go in and give your 2 cents to the world with your comments or whatever discussion it will be. So to be honest, I love the idea for sure.
And Jan is doing blog again in completely different way. He would even interact with people. He would allow comments, which Google would obviously reward because we are all going into first, content by users for users. So we see Reddit growing and Quora and all of this craziness. So maybe this is the way. Maybe we can make it more interactive, like Ask Gamblers, right? They have got very interactive relationship with the people visiting their sites. And I think maybe this is missing in most of operators for sure. So there is so many ways we can be creative, but I really like the idea of having someone communicating and messaging our brand through comments and through certain interaction with the users. Now, I know you are not SEO experts, but I'm going to go there. Google is going crazy these years with updates because of content. I think we're being punishing for not being creative. So if there is one thing you can really recommend to think of when creating your content and summarize what we said, because we have 4 minutes. So just, it sounds like a lot, but 2 minutes you, and we're done. What would be the main message you want people to remember when creating blog or any content for their website, from casino or from sports? What would be the way to create content that Google is going to reward, that customers are going to love, and we're actually going to be faithful to our brand and our messaging, yet original? A long sentence, I know. But Dean, go ahead. You look like you want to say something
sure,
now.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. I was going to say, Jan, you want to, I'll go first. I think kind of going back to what I originally said, it's about original, engaging, and then also longevity as well. That's something that I'd talk about as well. Is ensuring that you have content that is original. So the original producer of that content, whether that's a brand ambassador or whether that's a fan of a particular sport, engaging with them, or influencer, that originality. Engaging, ensuring that content is written in a way that would be seen as entertainment to a point as well. Because again, people, they know how to bet, they know how to, they know how the casinos and sportsbook works, but it's like, how engaging is that content? So that comes with with an aspect as well. Can you interact with that content? And the longevity as well. So the topics that you're picking as well don't just become, there's topics that can actually be evergreen. They're not just happen to be something just around the cup final or Europe, just really opinion-led content that can actually stay across your platform for a long period of time. And then looking at the multi-channel approach as well, we talked about memes. We work with a number of casinos that are literally just built on Telegram, and literally that is just meme central, essentially. So I think that it's freaking about where you place this content as well, and where you are structured, where you can actually create communities as well. So this content might not be purposely for certain content on your website, but then how about you create these communities on particular social channels that can actually link back into your website content, helping with SEO as well. And you might actually find engaging ambassadors for your content that are on the likes of Telegram and different community channels as well.
I have one question here. What is it with Telegram? What is it with Telegram in iGaming? Why is it becoming such a huge thing for our niche? Like, I am not on Telegram. I found it extremely annoying, but it is where the action is taking place. Why? Why Telegram? Why not something else? Do you have an explanation?
Yeah, I mean, the fact is there is it's highly engaged community, and I think that the ease of setting up these platforms is quite a quick and easy thing. Well, say easy, but it's a quick thing that you can do. Just say we work with multiple different Telegram casinos. And I think it's just a Web3 environment, really. You've got people that are highly engaged with crypto as well. So it's the ability to receive crypto payments. Telegram have their own currency, Tom, as well. So there's multiple reasons why iGaming are moving onto Telegram. There's multiple different benefits at the moment across Telegram.
I see a whole new topic. I see a whole new podcast on Telegram. Okay, this is coming. People, stay tuned. So for sports, create a beautiful content, and don't just think of ambassadors as the big players, but their fans. I think this is something people actually forget. So this is a great learning here. Use different channels differently. Use different messaging in different channels, and use new spaces like Telegram. And your audience will grow, but you need to have the correct content. And what is it for casino? The 2 cents you want everyone to remember: how to stay original and how to target their audience and speak to their audience a little bit better.
Sure. So I would say more from the live casino perspective. So now the games, maybe before for the SEO to create engaging content, to create something colorful content, well, it was not really possible since the games were very classic-oriented games such as roulette, blackjack, baccarat. So there is nothing much to talk, even if you will get the exclusivity, right? So you will get maybe the content, let's say 1 or 2 weeks prior to the network release. Please use it. Please don't just waste the time. That's why you're getting the exclusive content. You have enough to prepare for it. Use it. And going back to the topic, creative content, guys, the live casino games are just going crazy now. So it's not just the classic games, but now really the big game shows, the big wheel games, right? It's just crazy how the games, it looks like itself, how the studio are built, how the assets are, how the design. So I think that it's really easy to create very engaging content from the live casino side, especially these days when really the providers are fighting over to have you as a client, to give you the content prior to network release. And really, the games are just so engaging. It's unbelievable how you can really, it's very easy to create the content around this game. And that's why I love what you said at the first glance, Ivana. Talk to your expert, please. Don't just get the content and try to build something for yourself. That's why you have teams. That's why you have full live casino team, sportsbook team. Sit down with them half an hour and they will open your eyes how basically they can create the content around the USP, for example, of each games or the markets to target, note which markets to target, which game type, which might work. So there is really a lot. For me, engaging live casino content is like done by this because of the games and all the content providers are creating. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much. I actually learned a lot. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I just point that Jan made about I think what's quite important is that when you're looking at the content, regional content as well, what you would do in Italy or France or Spain or England should be very unique to those audiences. Understanding that what works in the UK might not be as engaging in Italy and France. So really conceptually, culturally understanding how engaged that audience are. So being really almost global in your thinking when creating content, not one size fits all. That's really key as I thought as well.
And if you don't mind, Dean, I'm so sorry. I love the topic. You just basically nailed it because honestly, sometimes the SEO content, the SEO is uploading the content on the markets when actually the game or the content, it's not even able to be live in such regions. For example, Sweden, you cannot have hand the wheel games. But I see the content that Swedish, some SEOs are basically, adding the content, which is you will be never able to find as a regulated markets, for example, in Sweden. So sometimes that's why the SEO really needs those experts to tell them, hey, this is not the game for this market. They don't care about this such a game times. They like this. So that's why I think the collaboration, it's super important between SEO and all the other teams or all the other verticals.
I think we have it. Speak to your experts because as an SEO, you are a marketeer, yet you are not an expert in live casino or football betting. Thanks God, we have companies that have experts. We have got Dean. If you don't know much about football, so reach out to him. Follow Jan and Dean on LinkedIn because they share a lot of good data. I mean, I learned a lot from them. So thank you very much for joining me. I love this podcast. I see so many ideas for other podcasts, Telegram being one of them, infiltration marketing being second. Thank you very much and speak to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.